So Aaliyah Boston is on track to be the best center in the WNBA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you agree, subscribe. We're trying to hit 27.1k by the end of the day. But Aaliyah Boston is, and I'll admit that I was wrong at the start of the year, feeling like their games couldn't mesh what Caitlin Clark wanted to do and what Aaliyah Boston wanted to do. And it's very clear that Aaliyah Boston, more so than Caitlin Clark, kind of sacrificed what she was doing. But because she was a back to the basket, dump it inside, let her go to work, hit cutters type player. She was a focal point of an offense type player and looked like she was really struggling. And she's been ridiculous. She's been ridiculously good the last couple of games that I've watched. And yesterday's game was a testament to that because she didn't score much because she's being guarded by Ezi Magbegor. She went at the start of the game at Ezi Magbegor, I thought, one too many times. Ezi Magbegor is the best shot blocker in this league. And she just, the amount of shots she blocked. And my favorite play of the entire game yesterday was when Caitlin Clark swatted Sammy Whitcomb, screamed in her face mid-play, then decided to go coast to coast and got swatted and sent into the stand by Ezi Magbegor. But yeah, that was a great outplay right there. But Aaliyah Boston is so good at basketball. And it's not just that she's good, especially because before the season started, I was like, obviously expecting Aaliyah Boston to be great. And then when the season started, look, she didn't show up in shape. That's obvious to anyone that watched. She underestimated the 8-month off season. She probably wasn't in basketball shape. And whether maybe she was in fitness shape, she wasn't at basketball sharpness by not playing basketball in the off season. I don't think it's something any rookie should do. Like some players, like maybe an A'ja Wilson, can figure it out in the off season, but she's got to do something. I assume she will be an Unrivaled. If not, she'll probably just keep doing her broadcast work. But yeah, so we have Aaliyah Boston, who has now turned into the best passing center in the WNBA. I'm looking through teams, and I'm like, who is a better center? Ezi Magbegor, through 3 games, got the better of Aaliyah Boston in all 3. She got the better of Aaliyah Boston in all 3. But Aaliyah Boston figured it out after about a quarter, nearly had a triple-double, 15 boards, while being an elite defender. Not only that, she's getting better at not fouling. To be fair, she had the worst whistle in the league to start the year. If she looked at someone, the referees were calling a foul. And her ability to just know where to be on the floor, and that link up between her and Caitlin, the amount of times they find, like, Caitlin finds Aaliyah Boston wide open for easy shots, and the amount of times Caitlin might dribble herself into a situation where with any other center she's stuck, which is why Caitlin turns the ball over way more with Damiris Dantas on the floor than she does with Aaliyah Boston on the floor. Aaliyah Boston is always in that position to be that safety pass, to be that safety. And that's so important to this team. As well as that, the amount of times where the ball gets swung to Aaliyah Boston, and because she's now starting to put up good numbers, teams are having to swing their help defender over to her, and she's making that extra pass to the wing. Maybe it's been more noticeable now because Lexi Hull can hit a shot. But if you put just a shooter, like Kelsey Mitchell, I'm going to make an entire video on Kelsey Mitchell. She has changed her entire way of playing basketball since the Olympic break. If she takes more than one dribble when Caitlin Clark's on the floor, she gives the ball back to Caitlin. And then, because she knows, Caitlin will find her wide open. And she's, again, what she put up, 28, or was it 28 and 26 in the 2 games? She kind of knows, okay, yeah, I'm getting easy buckets. I'm not even having to try, and I'm dropping 25. So, she's obviously done it. Better centers right now in the WNBA than Aaliyah Boston. Jonquel Jones. I think that Aaliyah Boston is equally as good, if not better, than Bree Jones. Kia Stokes is the Aces center. She's not better. Kia Stokes is not better than Aaliyah Boston. The Minnesota Lynx don't really have a center. So, and obviously A'ja Wilson doesn't play at 5. If A'ja Wilson is a 5, yes, obviously A'ja's the best. Ezi Magbegor, debatable. Brittany Griner, give me Aaliyah Boston. Camila Cardoso, obviously, give me Aliyah Boston. Tina Charles, give me Aliyah Boston. Tiara McCowan, give me Aliyah Boston. Although McCowan did give Boston a lot of trouble in that game, but they also went at each other. Stevens from the Sparks, give me Aliyah Boston. And Dolson from the Mystics. Now that's a close one. That is genuinely a close one between Dolson and Aliyah Boston, but I'll take Aliyah Boston. I think at worst, you can argue she's the fourth best center in the WNBA. I think outside of I think John Quell is the only player you couldn't argue. But I think Bree Jones, Aliyah Boston are at that level. And I think she's one of those top 15-ish players in the WNBA. I think she is. And she has the highest IQ of any center I've seen. Outside of, maybe a Stewie, as far as just bigs, even though Stewie's more so a guard that plays a big. But out of bigs in the WNBA, Aliyah Boston's IQ is the highest. Because a lot of the times young players don't come in. You need to have a ridiculous level of IQ at 22 years old to be making the reads that she makes. To be making the reads that her and Clark make. And they are seem to be the two of the smartest players. There are a lot of really, really smart point guards in the W, just like there is in every pro league. But super high IQ centers, especially people at 22 years old that are super high IQ centers, are rare. And I think Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston combo, because of how well their games mesh and the way both of them have come out of the Olympic break, Kelsey Mitchell is perfect. You pay Kelsey Mitchell whatever she wants. Kelsey Mitchell from the start of the year is not an all-star. You go and trade her. She is a worse version of Arike, Jewel Lloyd, those type of players. She's a worse version of them, the Kelsey Mitchell at the start of the year. The Kelsey Mitchell that has played since the Olympic break, where she's doing, every quick decision, she's taking one dribble, she's shooting open jump shots, is not only an all-star, is borderline all WNBA, and the perfect number one, 1A, 1B, 1B, 1C. And that's the scary thing about this Fever team, is the way these players are playing. Look, nothing clicks without Caitlin Clark on the floor. But to say with this current system, anything clicks without Aliyah Boston on the floor, I don't think so. It can kind of click without Kelsey Mitchell on the floor because she is just that finisher. They're replaceable, but there's no one in this free agency class that can replace Kelsey Mitchell. And if you are telling me who you would start, if you had a duo, two players to start a franchise with on any team, I think I would choose Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark over Jackie Young and AJ Wilson. Short term, I think it's a lot closer than people think. And long term, give me those two. And the biggest reason why I'm taking those two is that Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston can both give you a lot without taking a shot. They can both be huge focal points of offenses. You can run your offense through them. They can play make. They feed other people. AJ Wilson's so good at scoring that it's cool that every time she touches the ball, it goes up. And she will score a lot. And if you're scoring at that level, it's fine. It wasn't fine when Kelsey Mitchell was doing it at the start of the year, but when AJ is doing it, it's fine. But yeah, Aliyah Boston, take a bow. What a freaking season.